Hello there everybody. Oh, that's a surprise. I thought I was going to have to do this stream without this camera working because it was just totally blank. Apparently that's not the case. That is a real surprise. I was like, right, well, it's showtime, the camera's not working. I'm going to have to try and use the other cameras. Now here we are live and things are working, so I'm very surprised. Well, hello in that case. I wasn't expecting to see you properly today, but here I am. Welcome back to the railway and welcome back to Sam's Trains Live. I am here every Sunday at 2 PM and I've got quite an exciting little stream today. I'm going to be doing a live unboxing for the first time in a long while. Not done one of those for a good long time, and I'm going to be unboxing 3 wagons today, as you've seen from the thumbnail, so stay tuned for that. I've also got some live trains to run. I'm going to be taking some requests. There is a new episode of Train Time on the way, which I'm very excited about. Again, not done that for a long time. And of course, I'm going to be talking to you guys, doing some shout outs and showing off some of your artwork. So without any further ado, are there any shout outs I need to give? I'm not seeing any messages saying that things have gone horribly wrong technically, so hopefully that's all good. Caleb Chan is here. Funny Gailey is here as well. Kelly Ashford, nice to see you. Thanks for your request. Rathbaster, hello to you. Joshua W56, happy Mother's Day. And Mario Day, Sam. Is it Mario Day? What's that? But yes, any mothers watching, happy Mother's Day. Thank you for spending a bit of your day watching this stream if you are. I'm sure there's probably not many, but chances are there'll be 1 or 2. So yes, that's a good shout, Joshua. Well done. Adam Rushton's here as well. Jacob's Models, hello to you too. Crouching Tiger Hidden Adam, hello to you and thank you for your request. And also Train Guy, hello to you as well. Cool stuff. So let's have a go. I am taking requests today, so if you'd like to pick any locomotive and rolling stock and support the channel with a donation of £5 or the equivalent via Super Chat, then you can do that using the little $ in the chat, and you can have your 5 minutes of fame as I run whatever you want on the stream. And I've got plenty of those to come today. I've also got this, hang on a second. It is an S&DJR van, which is one of my own 3D printed ones. And I'm going to give this to the person who comes up with the most creative request of the day. So if you've got a request that you'd like to send in and you think it would be cool, send it in, and if it's the most creative one of the day, I will send you one of these. I've got one that's new in its bag still, with all the accessories separate for you to fit. So if you want to do that, then that is absolutely fine. Thank you very much in advance for the support. And without any further ado, let's move on and do some requests. These are left over from last week, and I had some questions about that. So if you do send a request in and it doesn't get done in the stream that you send the request in, then don't worry, it will be done the following week in either a videotape or live. So they all get done, it's first come, first served. I don't forget anybody. And if I do miss you out or forget somehow, contact me and I'll make it right. But here we go with today's first few requests. We have the first one from Owl's Yard, and I really love this one. It's a great pairing that I don't think I've tried before. Both Bachmann models, the E1 and the O class, both in this beautiful pre-grouping NER livery, which is just gorgeous in the green, of course. And he wanted the Southern Railway luggage van at the front with some Mark 1s behind it, so we got that. On the middle line, I've got a request from Steam, who wanted to see the Manor in the green with the 94XX, some egg vans and some chocolate and cream coaches, so we've done that. And then on the inside line, we have Neil F. Wise, who wanted to see an SECR mixed train of my choice. So I've gone with the D1 and a mixture of different wagons. Some of them are SECR themed. And I've also got an O-gauge request to do, so we'll get to that in a second once these are all going. Oops. I don't know why I changed the direction there, they were okay. So the O-gauge request is from Terence Priestley, and I'll show that in just a second, because Terence wanted me to double head some O-gauge locos, which I thought was a good idea, so we'll do that in just a moment. And I have set something up, so you'll see that shortly, but we'll let the 00 stuff have a run to start with. Oh, now that's fun. I like that. I think we'll keep it like that. Sam'sTrains Psychedelic Edition. Yep, it's still like it. How interesting. Well, I do enjoy the odd technical glitch, I must say. I used to hate them. I used to be very annoyed by them. But now I must say they're interesting, and that one certainly is. And so is this. It looks as though the egg vans have struck again in the way that only the egg vans do. And they have uncoupled in exactly the wrong place, which is right there behind the bookcase. So the only thing I can do is reverse the engines, which I have done. There we go. And we'll see if we can get them to reconnect. Goodness sake. It's those dodgy dapole couplings, isn't it? See if we can get that sorted. Listen for the collision. There it was. Have they managed to recouple? I don't know why it happened right there on the straight. Okay, no, not happened. So I'm going to have to push them back the other way, I think. What happens is, and I suspect we're going to see that during the unboxing as well, the coupling hooks on those dapole couplings are not designed right. They come off all the time. And I think that's what's happened here, so we're just relying on one hook. There was the collision. Gosh, that's going quite quick actually. Let's push it back. Hopefully there won't be any problems pushing it back. There goes the D1, looking okay. Psychedelic camera still working? Oh yes. Those greens look interesting in there, don't they? Well, at least they're working okay. No, they're not. No, I take it back. No, I've just watched the O1 derail right in front of my eyes. Okay. Well, something tells me it's probably time we stopped all this. Let me stop these. And let's put the, not the D1, the O1 or whatever it is. Something strange going on there. In fact, both engines have come off. Ah. Goodness knows. I don't know. Well, I've made things worse actually. I managed to uncouple the O1. So yeah, that's not great, but hopefully it means they'll at least survive. So assuming nothing's going to blow up in the meantime, let me give the O-gauge locos a little bit of a run for Terence, and I'll show you which ones I've picked out. So let me just adjust that camera so you can see it a bit better. Not the greatest angle in the world, but hopefully you'll see something. So for Terence, I've gone with similar region locos. Let's see if we can get these going. Oh yeah, here we go. I was twizzling the wrong knob, which is a problem I sometimes have. Yeah, I've gone with the B4, both dapole models, and the Terrier, both in, I guess, LSWR livery, actually, which makes them the two most similar locos I have, and they're hauling some wagons, as you can see. So double heading, something I do all the time in live streams for double O scale, but I don't think I've ever been asked to do this in O scale before. In fact, I've probably never even done it on video before. So that makes for something quite new. And good thinking, Terence, that's not something I've done before. And then ACD also wanted to see something O-gauge run, so I'm happy to oblige. This is also, well, it's something that I've not run for a long time, and it is the Fowler 4F. And it's a noisy one, but there it goes. Just to prove it still works, and I'm quite impressed that it does, to be fair, because it's not run for ages. So to say it's not been warmed up, and to say it's been sat on a shelf for 3 or 4 years, quite pleased to see this still running. It's noisy, but it always was noisy from when I first did it, when I first restored it, so that I can live with. But yeah, there we go. Nice to see the 4F. Let's have it go past the double headers. There you go. And well, I guess we'll park the double header there somewhere, and then you might be able to see it in the rest of the stream. So how is everything else doing? We'll bring some of this to a stop and move on. The trains are still moving. Oh, well, that's something then, isn't it? And interestingly, the O1 hasn't really moved off very far from the E1. So they're obviously quite well matched in terms of speed. And it's made it a couple of laps round now without derailing, so there's obviously nothing fundamentally wrong with it, which is good because I'm quite fond of this engine. I wouldn't want anything to happen to it. So yeah, it must have just been an issue with them double heading. Like I say, I don't think I've tried that before. So yeah, it's probably just a bit of that. Anyway, I don't think I need these coaches on for the next request, so I'll pop these off the track now, I reckon. And then we'll move on. We'll come and run some more trains later on. All right, well, thank you very much, folks. So that was Al's Yard, Steam, Neil F. Wise, and ECD, and Terence Priestley. We've got quite a lot in there. Okay, so the title of this stream: the cheapest model railway wagons that you can buy in 00 scale. Now, I haven't had it confirmed that these are them, but I cannot think of anything else that is cheaper. And they are these. These are the Dapol unpainted, so that's kind of why they're so cheap, railway wagons. And not very many manufacturers seem to offer this. They're standard Dapol wagons, but in unpainted. Now, I guess you could keep them in the grey and just add some lettering or something if you wanted, or you could paint them up into whatever livery you like. But man, they are cheap. So these cost me just £7.23 each at the retailers. And I think even though they're unpainted, the fact that you get the chassis, the wheels, the couplings and everything, yeah, is absolutely amazing. So we've got 3 to look at. This one is A019 unpainted vent van LMS. Let me show you that. There you go, vent van LMS. So let's pull this one out. The detail looks absolutely fine on these, it must be said, but let's pull it out and have a look to see exactly what you get. So, as we know, Dapol have made some upgrades at their factory recently. They produce sort of new and better wheels these days and new and better couplings. Must be said, it doesn't look as though these have those. This is very much the old style of Dapol coupling, a bit like the one on the egg vans, which isn't very good. And then you've got these wheels as well. Are they wobbly at all? Not wobbly, but not very free. That one's free. Yeah, that one's going a bit. And Kelly, dear Kelly, has requested I run these later on, so I will be able to test these. But yeah, for now, that looks okay. The performance is yet to be seen. The couplings, yeah, they droop a bit, don't they? Not very good couplings, but you know, for £7 something, you could probably do this up and improve it a little bit. The moulding, though, is okay. I mean, it's clearly quite an old wagon. The tooling of these dates back quite a long way, and there's some strange marks on it. It looks like it's been got with a pen there or something. But yeah, I think for £7, you'd be quite hard pushed to complain about that. All right, so the next one is this. Let me show you it up close. So this is A011 unpainted fruit van. And let me show the end. Yeah, Dapol like their fruit vans, don't they? And is it this one? Yeah, there's something loose inside there, and I can see what it is looking through the front of the box. So we'll find out if that's true. Yep, here it is. An unwanted accessory, and it's this. Yep, a coupling hook. Like I say, Dapols don't stay on, which is really annoying. And in fact, most of the egg vans I've got actually have at least one of their hooks missing. Obviously, if they lose them both, I have to find them, put them back on. But yeah, this one's not looking so hot, really. We've got one coupling drooping horribly. I mean, look at that. To be honest, you wouldn't want to be paying more than £7 for this, would you? And then the other one, yeah, that's lost its hook. Other than that, yeah, absolutely fine. Let's see if we can go in any closer and focus in. Yeah, I mean, it's a little on the messy side. You can see there's flashing on the moulding in places, which doesn't look the best. Not much in the way of underframe detail, but otherwise, you know, you can't fault the moulding too much. It looks fine. And I guess if you did some weathering as well as painting, then these would look okay. Again, though, how this coupling is going to work, I don't know. You know, it looks pretty droopy, and if it's anything like the egg vans, yeah, it's not great. They're also going to need a fair bit of finishing. Again, not the best in terms of sort of cleanliness, shall we say? Tooling, modelling, moulding, cleanliness. Yeah, could be better, but again, for the price, probably not too much to complain about. And then we got one more, which is this. Looks like a livestock wagon. Now this one's actually a bit more complex because it's got an interior. I don't think there's any detail on the inside, but you can at least see inside it, which is interesting. And this is A010 unpainted cattle. Not a cattle wagon, just cattle. So yes, that's an interesting description, isn't it? Right, well, let's open the cattle and let's see what we get. I don't think I've ever owned one of these cattle from Dapol before. So this is a new wagon to me. Interesting. All right, so yeah, very much the same deal, same kind of detail really, not a lot of difference there. It doesn't have the bars on top as these cattle wagons usually do. And the other thing is you can kind of see up inside it, as you can see. That's not dreadfully realistic, is it? So again, for £7, not complaining, but to be clear, this is obviously not a high-spec wagon. We've got a coupling hook stuck in the raised position there. Oh, okay, well, I'd rather it be stuck in the raised position than that. That's two of six come off. That's a third. Not very good. The other one's on though. Let's twizzle it, make sure it's staying on. Yeah, that one seems okay. Shake it upside down. Yep, that one seems to be stuck on pretty well. Okay, so yeah, again though, look at the droop on those. Hopefully these models will get the upgrades that Dapol have done with their new couplings and wheels and such, and then they'll sort of return to Dapol's range. Whether they'll still be £7 odd then, I don't know, but yeah, looking at this, I'd be surprised if these couple properly, although to be fair, if they're all drooping like that to the same degree, they should couple okay with each other, but getting them to couple to an engine or something, it's not going to be quite so easy. But yeah, really just over 20 quid for 3 wagons is pretty much unheard of these days. So value, okay. Performance, not sure. I have got a request for these to run later on, so we'll see what they're like. But yeah, for now, that's it. That's a quick look at the cheapest model railway wagons available in 00. I think they're probably that cheap for a reason. That's true, and I guess if you consider the Oxford Rail open wagons, which are £10, so less than £3 more expensive, those are fully painted, obviously, and they also have a lot more detail. So these are the cheapest. I'm not convinced that they're the best value because of those Dapol wagons, but cheapest, I think that those are the ones. Okay, so with that, let's move on, and here comes some requests left over from last week's stream. The first request comes from Hendrick Motorsports Fan 5, who wanted to see the big boy with some American freight keeping pace with a Garrett with a similar train. I think he meant on a separate track, but your Fiverr only gets you one request. Otherwise, I'll be doing these forever if people start submitting multiple. So I've got the big boy on and the Garrett, and as you can see, the Garrett's actually going quite a bit faster than big boy. So I guess you could say it's keeping pace or exceeding pace. Thank you very much, Hendrick Motorsports Fan 5. Then Robert Osborne came up with quite a complicated one, so let's go through it. Scotsman in the green with Torquay Manor with the Oxford Railgun. I'll put that at the back for coupling reasons. The Bachmann crane, now I'm sorry about this one, but after last week and the cables kept coming unravelled, I've decided not to keep that one out in active service. I've put that one away and I'll put the Hornby one instead for you. So no more requests for the Bachmann crane, although you can still ask for the Hornby ones because they're okay. Hattons Warwell on there as well, a Queen Mary brakeman, and also the Mark 1 brake. So thank you so much, Robert Osborne 6481. Then Trainboy came up with this one to see Henry pulling Emily, who failed while pulling a passenger train. And my Emily did indeed fail, so the only way she's going to run these days is if another engine hauls her along. I actually took her motor out of her so that she could do that, and as you can see, it's working pretty well there. The Bachmann Henry managing quite happily, and I've popped some birdcage coaches, that's it, behind those two. So to Trainboy, Robert Osborne 6481 and Hendrick Motorsports Fan 5, thank you so much for your awesome requests. Up next we have a really original request from Nomad, and that is to see the County of Cornwall with 5 Great Western coaches. And this is original because I can guarantee this loco of mine hasn't run for years and years, probably 5 years or more. Can't remember the last time I had this running, so that's a great shout. I always hate leaving locos alone and not having them run, and I'm guilty of that with this county class. So thank you, Nomad, for bringing that loco out, and I'm amazed to see that it still runs as well as it does. So yeah, very good choice. Then NG5 wanted to see the LNERW1 Bachmann crane. I've gone with the Hornby one again. The balancing military train, well, I've sold all of those now, and I gave the last one away a couple of weeks ago, but I've got some spare items from the military train, so I've popped those on. A tanker and also a railgun, so hopefully that is okay for you. We've got Hendrik up next, who wanted to see the Hush Hush with my best looking Atlantic. Well, oh, that's a bit subjective, but for me the best one has to be the H1 in the LBSC Umber. Yeah, I think the C1's a pretty close runner-up, but yeah, that Umber is a real favourite of mine, so I've gone with that. And also some coaches. Well, my favourite combination with the LBSC H1 would be the birdcage coaches, so I've gone with those. So a massive thank you to Hendrik, NG5 and also Nomad. Many thanks to you. The next one is a pretty interesting one. It comes from ECD Railroad, who wanted to see the 812 with my 552, so similar in number and also similar looking locos, both blue 060s, with some orange and yellow coaches. Now, I'm not 100% sure what you mean by orange and yellow coaches. I've looked across my collection and I can't see any that are orange and yellow. That would be an interesting livery actually, but I wonder if you mean these sort of old Hornby / drying ones. I mean, they're a yellow and a sort of reddy orange, so maybe that's what you meant. Hopefully I got that right. So thank you very much, ECD. Then Lapis Wake wanted to see the Duke Dog and a Manor together. That's an interesting pairing, but one that just seems to make sense somehow, with ambulance coaches, some Warwells, a balancing military train, the railgun, and of course Bullman. So thank you very much, Lapis Wake, for that eclectic request. Thank you very much. And then J&W Studios wanted to see my favourite pre-grouping engine with some birdcage coaches. Well, my favourite pre-grouping engine, that's a very, very difficult question, but one of the contenders at least for that would be the P-Class by Hattons, and the birdcage coaches are SECR as well, so it kind of makes sense to run it with those. So that's what I've done. So to J&W Studios, Lapis Wake and ECD Railroad, thank you very, very much. Well done there, folks. Thank you very much for those awesome requests, and also thank you to everyone who sent one in so far today as well. I've been reading them. I know I've not read them all out on stream, but I have seen them all and they will all get done, and I will read through the list at the end and thank everybody that needs to be thanked. But for now, let's go and run some more trains. So we've got, well, some interesting things going on. I guess the outside line's reasonably normal, but it goes downhill from there. So BR Dalek wanted to see an 08 shunter double heading with either an 03 or an 04 with a rake of coaches. So we've got two Backman locos there. And then here's where things get a bit interesting. We've got Crouching Tiger Hidden Adam, who wanted to see the dodgy Queen Elizabeth commemorative locomotive, which is terrible. And also he wanted to see the Beatles wagons, a Coca-Cola wagon, and the green Underground Ernie locomotive. Now the thing is, the Elizabeth commemorative thing doesn't have couplings that I can use, and in fact the other week I made it even worse when I broke the drawbar off knocking it into the bin. Check out the last stream if you want to see that. So I've just kind of parked it in front of the Underground Ernie engine, and we'll just see what happens. If Underground Ernie's faster, it'll get the Queen will get a green caterpillar up her backside, which is probably not the most respectful thing you can do to a Queen, but it's going to happen nevertheless. If the Queen's a bit faster, then it should be okay. It should escape from Underground Ernie, which is something that obviously we all aspire to. And then on the inside line, we have one from Beaglington, who wanted to see Davy Crockett, which is the one I restored. So thank you for choosing that one. The RHTT, unfortunately, I mentioned before, I don't have that anymore. I gave that away, so I can't run that, unfortunately. But you also wanted to see the Metal Coil Wagon by Dapol, and also a Dancehall Brake Van. And the idea is spring cleaning. So the coil wagon there obviously carries the coils, or springs, I guess. And the RHTT provides the cleaning part. So I see what you did there. I like the pun, but I apologise that I don't have the RHTT anymore. Anyway, the shunters will be an interesting one because the 08 is a lot slower than the 03, so how that goes, I don't know. Will the Queen be violated on today's live stream? Let's find out. Nope, she will not, because the Caterpillar is much slower. Okay, good to know. And then Davy Crockett, not been run for a while. Let's see if that's okay. Let's warm it up. Yeah, it seems to be going okay. All right. So it looks like the Queen's off on her own. There we go. And it's just occurred to me actually that I didn't move the bookcase or the passenger footbridge for that. So We might also see the Queen get a crown knocked off as she goes under the bookcase, but we'll see. Hopefully the other trains can get out of the way. Go on, Davey, get out of the way before all hell breaks loose. Right, is it going to fit under? I don't know if it will. Nope. So I got to rescue the Queen, otherwise Underground Ernie is going to cause problems for her. Come on, let's have you out of there. Oh dear, it's jammed in there. Okay, I got it. Well, I apologise that didn't go ever so well, but I have managed to get her out of there before Ernie turned up. It's so ridiculous. Such a silly situation. I like it though. Anyway, here we go. Sorry, Underground Ernie. You're not getting a victim today. There we go. So things seem to be okay again now, mainly. Which I should never say, because it always goes wrong, but yeah, they really do seem to be, so that's okay. Bonk, says Gaming with Luke. Yep, that's what would have happened. Alright, I heard an issue. I heard something click off the track. It looks like it's that Coca-Cola wagon, yeah, I think it is. Psychedelic camera's given up the ghost, so I guess... Oh no, it hasn't. Oh, I thought it had frozen. It hadn't. Fortunately, resetting it did not cure the odd colour scheme, so... Good, not lost that. Sideways 66779, thank you very much. He says, hello Sam, how are you? Could you run the Steam Coach? That's a popular one in these requests, blimey. With a mix and match of plank and box wagons and a brake van of your choice, please. Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much for the support. Much appreciated. Sir, thanks a lot. Hello Sam, how are you? I am okay, thank you. I hope you're okay as well. Arts, Toys and Trains with Levi says, I love the looks of Davy Crockett. Yeah, it's something, isn't it? It's just, I don't know how accurate it is to anything in real life, but it looks like someone just said, I want to build an engine that looks like your classic old-fashioned 1800s American locomotive. And yeah, it's almost kind of cartoony, isn't it, in that sense? See if we can get a better shot of it going past. Here it goes. Yeah, it's a beauty. Very old as well. I'm not exactly sure when they were released, but it was in the 60s, I think. Maybe they were made into the 70s as well, but yeah, it's an old one, and it did take quite a lot of restoring to get it back into decent condition. And yeah, I'm really, really happy with the way it looks. Real brass details as well, these domes on top and also the whistle. Big hunks of turned metal. Absolutely amazing. To say it's well, to say it was really intended for kids back in the day. You can't believe how different things are these days. Anyway, apologies. Quite pleased with the performance of that double header anyway. I would have thought there would have been some issues with that, but there haven't been, so that's pretty good. Coca-Cola wagon's off again. Oh, I actually forgot to address that when it came off before. It must have sorted itself out and then come off again later on. But yeah, okay, let's get Davey out the way. Cheery bye, Davey. Thanks for that. And I don't think we need these again, so I'll pull those off. And let's observe what happens with the Coke wagon now that we're washing. See what happens, because that looks hopelessly derailed. See what happens on these points. Is it going to fix it? No. It must have come off in a worse way this time, because yeah, I think that's a bit too far gone to fix itself. Alright, well, let's whip those off. I must say, I find it so funny how how often these Beatles wagons get requested. Literally every single live stream I've done since reviewing those, they've appeared in multiple times as well. I don't know. Right, let's give the shunters full speed, which is kind of a bit much to ask of them, but they're taking forever, so let's speed them along a little bit and I'll whip those off the track. There we go. Nice work. So thank you very much for those requests. Let's whip these off. There you go, put these somewhere safe if possible. And I guess I'll actually put these box vans back into the siding. See if I can do it in a suave manner. Yes, there we go. Splendid. Right. Great stuff. So thank you for those requests. More coming up later on. For now, I'm going to set up the next round of trains. So we're going to go for a quick break. And then when I come back, we've got the new episode of Train Time. I got the Wall of Fame update to do, and I'll do some more chats and shout-outs because I've not done much of that. So don't go anywhere. I'll be back in just a sec. Okay, folks, we are back. Welcome back. How is everybody doing? Let's do some shout-outs because I think I've been a little down on that. Kelly says Sam loves telling stories in a silly voice. What an accusation that is, Kelly. I don't believe I've ever done such a thing as that. Train Chaser Andy, bro, why did my message get removed? I do not know. I can tell you it was not me. And I can see messages from you. Does the Scrapman does a repair / rebuild and see if it works. I guess they're coming through okay. Trackmaster Studios, this music is relaxing. Well, I'm glad to hear that. I changed it recently because I've used that other one since 2017, so perhaps time to turn the record over, as it were. Cottonfield Railway TV, good afternoon, Sam. Good afternoon to you too. Hope you're okay. That guy, I ain't gonna read that one out. let's hide that one. There we go. I don't like that username. Usually I do like them, but yeah, we can't have inappropriate stuff. David Mattox, folks, you're all in deep doo-doo. Thank you first of all for the super chat, David Mattox. He says, Sam, it was my birthday this week. Do what you gotta do. Well, folks, what you gotta do is fill the chat with happy birthday for David Mattox. And what I gotta do is take this finger and press this button.
Happy train birthday to you. Happy train birthday to you. Happy train birthday, happy train birthday. Happy train birthday to you.
There you go, David. Happy birthday, and thank you so much for the support. Hope you had a good day. And wow, look at that. You got a chat full of happy birthdays there. There we go. And to everybody else who's not had a birthday and who's just had a rotten experience seeing that and hearing it, I apologise, but just wait till it's your birthday and then you can inflict the same on everybody else. Okay, well, with that, let me show you. I've only got one Wall of Fame picture to show today, and it comes from All Out Diecast. So let me show you that. And he's even put his own name on it, so I didn't have to. So there you go. Interesting little collage there. I guess that's him there in the shadows. But yeah, all good. Put that on the wall for you, and then you'll be part of this room. And if you want to send a picture in to put on the wall, then you're welcome to. Just email it to me at samstrains@outlook.com and I'll put it up for you. And I did have one or two come through after I'd already sort of planned today's stream, so if you sent those, don't worry, I'll get to those next week for you. And if you did have a picture up on the wall over the last stream or two, I've taken a picture of the wall, well, the sort of newest section of the wall, so that you can hopefully see yourself up there. So yeah, if you had a picture shown over the last couple of streams, hopefully you can see it there on the wall and you get an idea roughly of whereabouts it is. And Eggs Train says, hi Sam, could you have the Earl, the blue B2 Peckett, yeah, hauling as many passenger coaches as it physically can at full speed? That sounds like a challenge. Thank you very much, Eggs Trains. That's much appreciated. Thank you very much for that. All right, what am I doing here? Let's get that image off. There we go. Right, well, we've got some more trains to run, so let's jump in with those. Interesting little setup this time. ECD wanted to see the rail motor and some auto coaches. Now, I thought it might be fun to try and put the rail motor in between the two auto coaches, and we'll see what happens there. So fingers crossed that works okay. George Botterini wanted to see the GG1 with some wagons, and quite rightly saying we haven't seen that run for a while. So yep, we'll get that going. Another one that I haven't run for ages comes from Terence Priestley, and it is Sir Dinadan with some of the 6-wheel coaches. And yeah, I'm quite liking the odd vintage request that we're getting today, because obviously Davy Crockett is quite an old loco too. So yeah, we've got quite a few interesting vintage locos to run. All go in the same direction this time, just for a change. Let's see how we get on. Little concerned about the auto coaches because I've not actually got their couplings used. And yep, that came back to bite me. So I guess we'll have to do the old switcheroozy and take off the auto coach and put it at the back like I should have done. Really, I should have put a coupling on the front of the auto coach. No, not the auto coach, the rail motor, and have it push along properly like that. But in my hurry, I did not do that, and I paid for it immediately on the first curve. So lesson learned, I guess. All right, try again. There we go. Hopefully the passengers weren't too horribly deformed by the crash. There we go. Yeah, that's looking okay now. Again, if the psychedelic purple is a bit off-putting to you, I apologise. I wish I knew why it happened. I don't. I think the chances of me finding out why it happened are slim to none. So yeah, unfortunately, it's one of life's unanswered questions. I'm doing a bad job of, there we go, tracking the different trains. There's Sir Dinadan. That's the original Hornby N15, released long before the current one came out, which is quite interesting. There it is with its two six-wheelers. Nice work. Now where's that auto train? There we go, seems to be on the way. That's it, that's better. Alright, good stuff. So those are from ECD, George Botterini and Terence Priestley. Thank you very, very much for those requests. Nice work. Alright. See if we can get a better lap out of everything this time. Well, it's only the auto train that had its problems. See if that's going to work as it should. It's coming down the front at the moment. There we go, looking nice. Do like that GG1, an amazingly large model for what it cost. Very impressive thing. And here we go, let's see if we get this better. Awkward, says David Schultz. It was awkward, it was my fault. The camera is mad. It is mad. I don't think we've quite had that effect before. Yeah, I don't know. I never. Oh, Michael White says, I never admit to birthdays. That's very wise. Especially if you come into one of my live streams. Okay. Thank you, Sir Dinadan. Let's bring you to a halt. Yeah, it's a nice engine, that. Goodness knows what livery it's in. I've never seen anything else in quite this livery. I suppose it's supposed to be, I don't know, a Mansell green, is it? I don't know. Doesn't look like Mansell green, but I guess that's what it's closest to. Alright, the GG1. Running on analog, interestingly, and I think the auto trains had a bit of trouble again. That's come off the track. Never had an issue with that before. Okay, it might just be because of the auto coaches, to be fair, because those are the old Hornby ones with the larger sort of D-shaped couplings on. So yeah, it could just be those that's not gone to plan, but I'll whip these off anyway. All right, nice work, auto trains. And yeah, that steam rail motor was very, very popular in the request. I was quite surprised about that. Anyway, nice work. So what I wanted to talk about next was something new that I've got going on in the works. Blimey, what was that? That was a strange noise, wasn't it? It sounded a little bit like a clock chime or something like that. A clock. I wonder what time it is.
Train time. Train time. Train time.
It's train time!
Hello and welcome to Train Time. I'm your host, Stiff Michael. There are lots of ways to make money using trains. Railway companies sell tickets to passengers and allow them to ride the trains, and model manufacturers make models of the trains which they sell to collectors. But there are some train things that you just shouldn't do for money, and one of them is to profit from the dead. The London Necropolis Railway found this out the hard way. Now, the London Necropolis Railway was founded in 1854 in order to transport corpses and funeral parties between London and the Brookwood Cemetery. Now, the cemetery at the time was the largest in the world, and it was designed with enough capacity to hold all of London's dead bodies for years and years to come. It was also built far from the centre of London so as never to be affected by urban growth of the city. If one day it became in the way, then the bodies would have to be moved, and they didn't want that. So the London Necropolis Railway hoped to hold a monopoly on the London burial industry with lofty aims of carrying between 10,000 and 50,000 bodies per year. Unfortunately for them, they failed in their task. After over 87 years of operation, only around 200,000 bodies had been transported, averaging just 2,300 bodies per year. That's less than a quarter of their minimum expected yearly capacity. Ha! Then, in 1941, how's this for karma? The railway's London station was badly designed. Well, that was a misreading there. It wasn't necessarily badly designed, but it was badly damaged in an air raid and condemned. Sorry, Stiff Michael's got issues. Soon after, the railway was closed in 1941 and the railway lines were removed from the cemetery. So, let that be a lesson to anyone looking to profit from the dead using trains. I've been Stiff Michael. This has been Train Time. And this sounds like a Hornby video now. Goodbye.
Train time. Train time. Train time.
It's train time.
Train time. Train time. Train time.
It's train time.
Thank you very much, Michael. That was very interesting as always. How are we feeling after that, folks? Everybody still intact? Yeah, it's kind of crazy to me that an entire railway line and company was set up to transport the dead. It seems like a lot of work to go to, and for it to be so underused as well, that's must have been quite the burn, mustn't it? And the cemetery is still there as well. I did find that out. It's still there, but obviously trains are no longer involved, although I think there is a little bit of track still there that you can see. It's got like a sign next to it, something you can read as far as I know. Never been, but it sounds like an interesting place. Alright, Whiskey 2 Sharks, thank you very much for the super chat. If you want to send the full Fiverr, then yes, I can do that on the next stream for you. Hendrick Motorsports Fan 5, thank you very much for that request. Could you run the Steam Coach and Eleanor J70 running HST with Annie and Clarabelle? I like that one, thank you very much. Crouching Tiger Hidden Adam has called 111 for Mike, straight to A&E. Yes, thank you. I don't know what the prognosis will be, but thank you for that. I'm sure he'll much appreciate being looked at and then thrown out, probably. J&W Studios, hi Sam, for today's challenge, could you run the Bachmann 4F and the SNDJR 7F? Two SNDJR/LMS locos, nice. With some four-wheel coaches, cheers Jasper and Willow. Well, thank you very much, that's awesome. Right, with that then, it is time to test those wagons that I unboxed earlier on. And there they are, all set up, ready to go. This is a Kelly Ashford request. And Kelly wanted to see a bit of a ghost train, really. So the new wagons, which are in the grey, it's just up Kelly Street, really. The P-Class in the grey, and also a towed brake van in the grey. So we'll get that going in just a minute. Rathbaster wanted to see the LBSC 040. That took me a second. I thought, what is he talking about? Yeah, he's on about the 3D printed one that someone made for me. So I've done that, and he wanted to see it with some freight cars actually. So I've put that on. And then Crouching Tiger Hidden Adam wanted to see two of the Hornby 14XXs with egg vans and towed. So it's a real lemon train, if you will. I had a bit of a brainwave about this though. We've got the new Railroad Plus one, which is this one. That one runs okay because it's pickups. No, because its traction tyres touch the track, but it's really juddery because the pickups are no good. With this one, the pickups are okay. This one runs all right, but it's got no power because its traction tyres are not on the track. So I'm thinking they might do a bit of a Jack Spratt and his wife scenario. Maybe one will help with the picking up, the other one will help with the power. Hopefully, they will both actually be able to get the train to move. So we'll see how it goes. If it stops, then I was wrong. It stopped. No, it's carrying on. No, kind of. Yeah, it stopped. I was wrong. Okay, let's test out the Dapple Wagons then. Let's go at a moderate speed. I'll give the 1400s a push and derail the egg vans. How splendid. But can't worry about that because I need to watch what the Wagons are doing. So here they go on to Gordon's Hill Psychedelic Edition. Let's see how long they last. Yes, it was about as fun as you might expect to put those onto the track. Yeah, constant issues trying to get them coupling because of how drooped they are. But once coupled, they seem to be okay. So let's see if that remains true around the track. So far, so good. I suppose now is when I'm going to expect the problems around the back of the bookcase. No, looks like they're still on. Looks like they're still on. So, yeah, coupling autonomously, not fun, to put it politely. But once coupled, that seems to be okay. I guess what I will do is put them across the points. And we can see whether they derail or not on those. Yeah, I guess that's worth a try. They might not do though, you know. The wheels, the ones that I tried, they didn't seem to be wobbling too much. So maybe they will be okay. There's the LBS C040. Right, well there's my test point, so let's stop in front of those and back into them. And we'll see how they do in reverse and also over a point. So, here goes. Back it up. 14XXs are struggling, I'll try and help those out in a second. Over the point we go. Hey. Not at all bad, they've not even come uncoupled. So, I mean, the couplings, a lot of them have fallen apart. Ah, they uncoupled. Okay. Again, yep, that is one of them that doesn't have the hook. And the remaining hooks loll to the side, so it's 50-50 whether or not they actually couple when you push them together. But yeah, that is actually a lot better than I expected, and certainly a lot better than the egg vans. They'd be a lot better actually with the upgrades that Dapple are doing, so hopefully they will do that. Oh, for goodness sake, these 1400s, man. Utterly unusable. Utterly unusable. The one that's tyres don't touch the track properly, that one is actually going. Oh, I've knocked those off. Let's sod the egg van, shall we? Again, they've got coupling hooks missing as well, so they don't work right. Very frustrating. I'm glad to see Dapple getting rid of those couplings because they don't work right. Right, well, I don't think this is good news. The 40... Oh, what's happened there? Ah, okay. Seems to be that we're missing some of the wagons now off the train. Let's have a quick scan around. Oh, there they are. Ah, I take back what I said. The couplings are too useless to work. Goodness sake. So now I'm going to have to try and rescue those. Oh, this has not gone well. I assume the 1400s are also going to stop behind the bookcase where I can't help them. That's probably something that's going to happen. I can't hear them running anymore. Oh no, they've actually stopped just before they got there, so that's not too bad. Alright, I'm going to actually stop those because I don't want them to burn out. So we've not got much still running, unfortunately. I'm sorry for that. But I guess that was kind of expected. I guess we all knew the 1400s and the egg vans weren't going to do well. And at least we've got the P-Class still running somewhere. Hopefully it's still going. So while those run, let me go through and thank all of today's super chatters. And as always, thank you ever so much for your support. I mean, everybody that watches, thank you. But especially the people that super chat, because it really does help the channel out. So I do want to go through and thank everybody. And I also need to choose the most creative request of the day so that I can send them my S&DJR wagon, which has had an upgraded underframe with more detail to it. So a massive thank you to Beaglington on Sea, ECD Railroad, Kelly Ashford Trains, George Botterini, Terence Priestley, Rathmaster. That one almost always rather trips me over. Yeah, I nearly say the wrong thing, nasty things sometimes. I apologise. William Town, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Adam, David Mattox, Hendrick Motorsports Fan 5, Mega Train Lover, Lapis Wake, Mindless Shark, Sideways 66779, Hendrick Motorsports Fan 5, 7822 Foxy Coat Manor Fan, thank you so much for that. I will run that manor for you next week. David Mattox, Eggs Trains, Hendrick again, Whiskey 2 Shots, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Adam again, and J&W Studios. And any outstanding requests I will do on next week's stream. Now I need to have a look for what I think is the most creative request of the day. So we've got quite a few to choose from here. Hendrik's idea of having the Bachman Thomas violently shunt an egg van into a gunpowder van and the explosion knocks you backwards. I guess I've heard something like that before, so maybe that one's not too creative. Sam'sTrains, I like the blue B2 hauling as many passenger coaches as it physically can at full speed. That's nice and random, so yeah, that's pretty good. Let's see, the Foxy Coat Manor fan, that was a pretty good one. Broom Manor with some Great Western four-wheel coaches. Thanks, Alfie. Yeah, I like that one actually. Yeah, I quite like that. Four-wheel coaches too. Don't think I've tried that with a Manor before. That one is tickling me in a way that is very pleasant, which is an odd thing to say. I apologise. Anyway, let's see what else we got. Sideways. Yeah, I like that one. The steam coach with plank and box wagons. I like the steam rail motor ones. That's all pretty good. We've got a Garrett request from Hendrik. Mega Train Lover, the Hornby Unrebuilt Merchant Navy. Ooh, I like that. No, do you know what? I think we'll go with 7822 Foxy Coat Manor fans one. I love the idea of a Manor with the four-wheel coaches. So if you want to send me your delivery address to my email at samstrains@outlook.com, I will get the little S&DJR wagon off to you, which is 3D printed as well. So, yep, that can be yours if you want it. And I guess I'll give you some little clues as to what's coming up next week. So I am going to be looking at a tiny little coach, a new one, produced by Hornby. So look out for that. And then on Saturday, I'm going to be giving you all the latest in model railway news. But for now, thank you so much for coming out to another stream. Happy Mother's Day if you are a mother, or if you're going to be celebrating Mother's Day with a mother. All of that good stuff. Have a very, very lovely day. Have a great week, and I'll see you next Sunday at 2 p.m. Thank you so much for watching, folks. You take care.
Hey folks, thank you all very, very much for tuning in for another episode of Sam's Trains Live. I really hope you enjoyed it. I'll be back with another episode very, very soon, but in the meantime, please enjoy the videos that I'll be posting on my channel till then, and I will see you all very soon. Thanks again for your support, folks, and take care of yourselves.